Good morning. Mic check, sound check. I usually okay. Boyd. Thank you. Let me just get the screen share up. All right, let's give this another shot. All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It's Friday, May 29th, 2026. New day, fresh start. Happy Friday to everyone out there. Welcome to the Pitbull Traders Morning Game Plan. I'm your host, Manny. The purpose of this show is simple: live futures trading, real-time technical analysis, and actionable trade setups. All with a focus on building the real trading skills and the mindset designed to drive consistent profitability. Every day we come in with one goal: to build out the structure before the open so that we're operating in alignment with the day's dominant forces. We're not guessing, we're not chasing, we're going to take trades that follow a logic chain. And to be honest with you, since the May 30th low, it's been bulls are on blast. It's been the Artemis move to the moon. 63.53 March 30th low. We just had another breakout earlier in the week, and now yesterday, after what was a consolidation of 2 days, where we just spent 2 days inside of value and inside of the prior day's range, we broke out again yesterday, and that was fun to watch. I hope most of you were on board with that. I know if you guys are following the market blueprint has been absolutely on fire. Nailed the low of the day yesterday, and it also nailed the low of the day on Wednesday. All right, team, let's map it out. Let's get aligned with the market. Let's see how we're going to trade this puppy today. All right, we're going to dig in on a higher time frame. Again, consolidation. This has just been the story of sideways consolidations, sideways consolidations, sideways consolidations, sideways consolidations, and then followed by, breakouts, 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 and breakouts. All right. So until we have a structural reference change, until that changes, there's no reason why we should think that anything will be different. Now, here's the thing, right? We can often think, okay, well, how high can this go? How high can it go? Well, yeah, so it can go as high as it wants, right? Our job is to identify what it's doing and participate in that. When it changes, when markets change and they change a trend, those are going to be times where it's going to be where your technical analysis and your ability to execute and follow and analyze the market really shines. This move has been very easy. I frequently tell people in our private community, I tell them, hey, enjoy this while it lasts. Keep buying dips. It's easy. Don't overthink it. Don't think that, hey, this is too high. Just keep doing it. Pad those accounts. These are the times where, as a futures trader who's been doing this for a very long time, these are the markets where you make your year. These are the times when you can pad your account. These are the times that build up your account so that you can withstand the choppy market, the sideways market, or the extremely volatile market where your read might be off. When markets change trend, it's often a little dicey, right? You go from buying dips now to selling rips. We're always trying to identify that. All right, let's jump in. We have 15 minutes on the clock before the opening bell. So starting off with our higher time frame. Let me just get this here. Yeah, I see your question. Just give me a second. I'll get to that in a moment. I'll be right with you. Let me just get through the open here, and then I certainly see your question there, Nish. Let me get through the open. All right. On our 4-hour time frame, right? We had this consolidation, the sideways consolidation that broke out yesterday. Okay. Gives us an excellent reference. Okay. So now we're going to come in here and we're going to monitor this previous low. All right. That previous low came in just above 7,500. Okay. So we're going to call this area 7,500 to 7,510. Okay, we're going to frame that as a band that we want to see act as support. We want to see what price does there when it gets there. If it holds a support, great. Then we know that, okay, we know we can double bottom, or that the bulls are there supporting it. But that gives us an idea where if we wouldn't get to below there and then that holds as resistance, right? Then at that point, we're starting to think, okay, maybe there's a structural shift. But let's not move so quickly, okay? Because I think the more important structure that really matters because of the amount of time we spent there, okay, is this reference here, okay? And that's 74.50 to 75, 74.50 to 74.60. All right, it's a pretty wide band. It's a 10-point band, but I think that once I would expect that if price got down there, that it would act as support. Just because we spent a lot more time bumping our heads up against it, and bulls finally took the hill on this day here. All right. So if we do get below there, then we'll reassess and we'll analyze what happens there. We all know how much the market loves to trap, correct? And so if the market gets down below that 74.50 to 74.60, and that begins to act as resistance, then at that point we'll frame it out and we'll see what the market is telling us. All right. For right now, going into today, that's kind of the higher time frame analysis. Let's dig into really what we want to focus on the higher time frame, and that being our day time frame reference from yesterday that comes in just here at yesterday's high, 75. We're going to use it as 75.70 to 75.75. That's a tongue twister. You can see here that in the overnight, we came down, we tested it, and it held to the tick. Okay, that gives us another good reference point, right? Because we know how much the ES loves to trap. Okay, and that would be a prime location for a look below and fail. And Nish, this kind of gets to your question, right? A look below and LBNF is a look below and fail. That's where the market tests below an area and then traps shorts underneath it, thinking it's going to go short, and then reclaims that level and puts in a higher low, and then it starts moving to the upside. Okay. Some people call it a failed breakdown. Some people call it a look below and fail. The setup is the same. It's been going on in futures since before I traded them. All right. It's liquidity trap. It's price running out of the force that pushed the price there, fails to extend the range, whether that be a trap, whether that be a look below and fail, whether that be a failed breakdown, matters not, right? That's the market running out of steam at an inflection point and reversing and reclaiming the area. We use those prices to give us our risk markers. All right, team. So that's going to frame it out there, 75.70 to 75.75. Make sure you keep that in your narrative for the day. It will matter. And that's our higher time frame level. All right, let's really get granular. Let's look at where the rubber meets the road for us. For that, we're going to jump into the 15-minute chart. We're going to stay consistent here. We're going to stick to our process. Process is everything when you're trading, right? That's how you go from trading, being at the casino, to being the casino. When you have a process and you stick to it, you respect it. All right, here we go. So as we do every morning, we're going to build out, excuse me. We're going to map out the most bullish argument. We're going to map out the most bearish argument. And then we're going to talk about a potential bullish trap trade. And then we're going to talk about a potential bearish trap trade. Okay, and that's going to frame out the core of our ideas going into today. And then, of course, we're going to cover the dreaded sideways move that we all hate to discuss and hate to see. However, it is relevant that we cover it, because as you can see here this week, we had 2 days where we just kind of went sideways here. You know, when this was on earlier in the week on Tuesday and Wednesday, price was just consolidating, right? And ultimately, you know, we didn't know consolidation at an extreme. You have to always, as a default to the dominant trend. So if we're consolidating at highs, it's bullish. If we're consolidating at lows, you have to interpret it as bearish until it proves otherwise. If you stick to that thinking, it will serve you well in your trading career. All right, so let's map out the most bullish argument. and then we'll move into the most bearish argument. Let's get into our 15-minute chart. Some of the best setups. I've been reviewing what we've been talking about, and team, these setups are working out pretty much every day. So make sure that you write them down, jot down the levels, and make sure that it's easy throughout the day to get lost in the sauce or get distracted by price movement. Just remember these, take screenshots if you have to. All right, so for the most bullish argument, we're going into the morning opening at 75.88. Excuse me. Let's take a look at the condition of our overnight inventory. Our overnight inventory is coming in at a long because most of the price action has been contained above yesterday's settlement at 75.81. Okay, so our overnight inventory is net long, and typically what we see with a net long inventory is a liquidation break of that inventory. But let's talk about the most bullish argument. If we're opening up at 75.88, we have our overnight high coming in at 75.95. Okay, if price can get above and stay within this upper distribution, 75.89, or this area up top, right? This talking about this area here, 75.90 to 75.95. Then we have to interpret that as being bullish, okay? If we get the breakout here, this is going to be the classic setup, okay? If we get the breakout above the overnight high, price then pulls back, opening up 75.88. We pull back to the overnight high, 75.95, 75 is the current overnight high. Say we trade down even down to 75.90, that would be fine, okay? That would just be fine. That would be normal price action for the ES. And then we get extension higher. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the most bullish iteration. What can happen at that point if price breaches the overnight high and starts to consolidate, starts to demonstrate acceptance as it's doing right now, then at that point what we're going to do is we're going to look for long entries. We're going to look for long entries close to our exit where we can get out, say 75.90, have a tight risk marker, make sure you're passing those evaluations, making sure you're protecting those funded accounts. Okay. And once we get that extension, we're taking our scales on the way up with, we're in blue skies territories, all new all-time highs. So there's really no structural references. Just take your scales as your system dictates. For me, I have two different systems that I run. I'm typically taking a first target at 5 points. On my scalping strategy, my first target is 3 points. Okay. All right. So that's the most bullish outcome. Let's talk about the most bearish outcome. To do that, we're going to slide over to our right-hand chart, and we're going to discuss an open at 75.87 that sees a liquidation break. Now, we know the nuance of the settlement. The settlement's coming in at 75.81. We know that price always bounces at the settlement for at least a point, 2 points. And what we do with that information, that's not a trade setup that I like to participate in. However, I know others that do. However, for me, what I want to do is, as more of a tape reader, I want to gauge the reaction at that level. I want to see what the market's intent is. Okay, so if we get to the settlement and we bounce, and it's a tepid bounce, it's a mediocre bounce 2 or 3 points, and then immediately we're testing right below it. Okay, and then price gets below the settlement and demonstrates acceptance, then we're going to use that 75.80 to 75.85 as our band, as our risk marker for the entry into short positions. Okay, and then at that point, we're keeping our risk tight, respectful of the trend, and then we're going to take our scales on the way out with an ultimate target of 75, 72, 75 being the overnight low. That would satisfy the 96% statistic. Again, so just cover the most bearish iteration. If we open and we see a liquidation break off the open, price fails to hold the settlement at 75.81, and we get back below it, and it demonstrates acceptance, meaning it's not forming a wick, meaning it's closing below it. At that point, we're stalking entries on the short side to get into a short entry and target the overnight low down at 75, 72. At that point, we'll reassess because we'll be in prior days value area, and we'll reassess the price action and then the intent. Okay, So that covers the most bearish argument. Remember, on the short entry, we want to use 75.85 to 75.80 as our risk band. Okay, so we want to see price demonstrate acceptance below 75, below the settlement, 75.81.75. Get below the settlement, demonstrate acceptance on any short entry. Then we have to respect the structure and put our risk marker on the opposite side of that. That would be 75.85. Okay, so that covers the most bearish argument. Let's talk about my personal well, let's talk about the bullish trap trade. We're not quite there yet, Manny. Hang tight. Hang tight. Okay, let me just get a quick screenshot and then we'll move forward. Doing great on time this morning. Maybe not. Nish, let me know if that answers your question. If not, when I get through this portion here, I will I can go a little bit more into depth into the LBNF. But great question, because I've gotten that question before. I just can't abbreviate that long statement in any other way. All right, team, let's talk about the bullish trap trade. Pretty simple. We open, okay? We open 75.89 and price rallies and looks above the overnight high. And immediately it starts to stall. We get a lower high and then we get back into the overnight range. 75.95 is our overnight high. If price gets below the overnight high and starts to demonstrate acceptance below the overnight high, we're going to start thinking, okay, the market is going to liquidate the overnight inventory. Remember that when their overnight inventory is more leaning more one way than the other, typically what you're going to see is a reset of that inventory. So the market likes to reset the deck. That would be called a liquidation break of the overnight inventory. Okay, and at that point, if we get below the overnight high, 75.95, if price demonstrates acceptance below the overnight high, at that point, we're stalking short entries on little pops. We're going to try to get an entry close to our risk marker. Our risk marker would be whatever local high is put in or the overnight high. And at that point, we're looking for shorts down to target yesterday's high at 75.89.25. And then ultimately, maybe even a test of value area high at 75.86. Okay. That covers the bullish trap trade. Let's see. Let's jump into now my favorite. Okay. Remember, I think that this, you know, it's Friday. I mean, the VIX is in the gutter, but this has a possibility of materializing. It's a nice little short scalp trade that you can participate in, kind of get your account going, get the day going. And it carries more weight because of the overnight inventory. All right, let's jump into the bearish trap trade. There's the opening bell. All right, team, for the bearish trap trade, the market breaks and gets below the settlement, 75.81.75, and the market shows that it starts to wick below the settlement, and then it reclaims the settlement and starts to put in a higher low. At that point, we're going to look for a low. We're going to look for that wick below the settlement. Okay, we're going to wait for price to reclaim the settlement and for the screens to go green. At that point, we'll have a higher low, and we'll stalk the short end, the long entry above the settlement that gets us back to yesterday's high. That can also materialize below the overnight low. I really like that setup. It's on the market blueprint. If we can get below the overnight low at 75.72 and we see price stalls, right? Sellers dry up and then we start to wick below it. Maybe we even chop down, go a little bit lower, but ultimately price fails to extend lower. Remember, when the ES sells, it's a hot knife through butter, okay? So if we put in a higher low, we reclaim the overnight low. At that point, we're stalking long entries. We're looking for a test. We're looking for price to demonstrate acceptance within the overnight range, and we're getting long, and our first target becomes the settlement at 75.81. All right, so that covers the bearish trap trade, the bullish trap trade. Let's get the opening print down, and let's get into our trading charts so that we can see how the day is going to materialize and see how we want to trade this puppy. Make sure you write down those ideas, because one of them seems to always play out throughout the day. Never know which one, but you have to have them all front and center. 75, 90, 75 is our opening print. Okay. So let's write that down. And just a quick update. So for everyone tuning in, hey, we just revamped our website. Go check it out, pitbulltraders.com. Super proud of that. Ton more value on there. Check out the program guide. Check out the Trader's Edge tab, where we go into all the tools that we use here on the show, and that you'll frequently hear me talking about. All right, so let's see what we have here. There's the blueprint. Let me just get my trading chart up. Okay. Hey, heads up here. Heads up. Heads up. We have this looks kind of bullish here. Let's see. Okay. A4. Just want to make sure I have these in alignment here. Let me know if I answered your questions. If not, yeah, post them up. And if you're tuning in on socials, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more. We have a ton of new value coming out next week. Really proud of that. Really happy about what we're going to offer. So be sure to go check out the website, pitbulltraders.com. Drop your email address in there so that you can get news updates. Again, and if you have the skill but you lack the funding, go to pitbulltraders.com and get an evaluation. And heads up, for next week, we're going to start doing a little bit, we're going to start injecting a little bit more fun into the show, okay? So next week, we're going to start, I'm frequently trading my accounts and my prop accounts and my personal accounts. But next week, I'm going to do it live and direct in front of you guys. I'm going to purchase a brand new $50,000 Pitbull Traders evaluation. You guys are going to help me out. You guys are going to watch me as I trade it, as I take it to the funded stage, and as I take it to the payout stage. All right. So don't forget, tune in next week. We're going to start that on Tuesday. It's going to be live and direct. And we're going to keep doing that, right? We're going to keep just layering those accounts. We're going to pass those evaluations. We're going to show folks how the rubber meets the road, and really how we do it how we do it so often. All right, I'm a little distracted here by the price action, because yeah, we definitely have we definitely have some bullish price action here. Looking to see if these 91s hold. 91s are holding. Are the 91s going to hold? Yep. Buying this breakout here. Let's see what happens. I'm buying this breakout here. I'm sticking to oh man, I wanted to stick to micros and I did the mini. Let me take one off. What are my ticks doing? I really wanted to be in micros on this. Let me get the chart up. I was on micros. All right, let's see what happens here. So in order for me to, so look, I've been trading all week, and I typically don't like to take large risks on a Friday. But so I had planned coming into today to trade MES. I triggered this one on the ES. So yeah, not too happy about that. All right, and so this entry team is just an order flow read, right? And it's also on the market blueprint. It's also a planned setup for me. So if you go check that out, this is setup number 3. Been kind of stalking this one in the pre-market. I did have a pre-market trade earlier, but if you want, go check out the market blueprint is on my X feed at Manny_trends, and that's the trade plan. That's the trade that I'm following here. Yeah, so this is a valid trade for me. Only that I really wanted to trade micros today. Just practice some risk control, some risk mitigation where I get to participate in the trading. However, I'm limiting the risk. Yes, I'm limiting my upside, but it's been a fruitful week, thank God. And I just want to protect some of that profit. So I'm looking for 99.50 for the first for the 5-point first. All right, looking for 94.50 on the first target. That would give me a 5-point first target. Okay, and then typically I'm taking a 10-point second. Yeah, live action. Yep. We'll be trading it live just like we're doing right now. I mean, it's really no different, but I'll be tracking. We'll track that account, right? I'll take you guys from the point of it being a brand new account into the point of it reaching the profit objective and the point of it passing and follow adhering to those consistency rules. We're gonna just show everyone how it's done. And look, there are often times where where the trade goes against you and you fail the evaluation. That happens. I want everyone to normalize it for everyone so they can understand really how it works and how a professional would trade it. So yeah, stick around. It should be fun. I'm thinking about also. I'll let you guys know. I'm thinking about framing it around some type of a. I'm thinking about building out a competition over the week, kind of like a friendly competition with a prize for the winner at the end of the week. We'll see. Stay tuned for that. Let me just double check the algorithms here. Okay. All right, coming into that first target. Got it, team. Got it. That's plus 5 points on the first target. Plus 5 points on the first target. All right, looking for that second target. We're going to be a little bit more liberal on this target. Now, remember, I'm following my trade plan, okay? Following the market blueprint. So that's plus 5 points off of setup number 4. Do me a favor if you're tuning in on YouTube, if you're tuning in on social media, do this favor. Do me a favor. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Love to find out where you are geographically. Does that? I hope everyone understands why I took that trade. If not, go check out these setups. For me, it was a valid trade. I kind of knew I was stalking this trade earlier, and you can see here, just to point it out, right? You can see here where I attempted the trade earlier in the pre-market. You can see here, I attempted it here. I was long at 87s. I got two targets out of it, and then the last contract broke even. Okay, so that kind of worked out. That one I got two scales out of it, which was fine. So I got this was my scalping strategy. So I got plus 3 points on the first, and then I got plus 5 points on the second, and then the last contract broke even. Let me just double check their live action. Hang tight. Chicago, nice. All right. From YouTube. Hey, I love the Windy City for sure. I've been to Chicago a bunch. Yep, nice, Rockin' Rufus. Love the name too, by the way. Sweet, like it. Okay, glad you got it, Nish. Let me know how else I can help. Look below and fail is just basically a fail breakdown or whatever you want to frame it as. It's been popularized in many different ways. The chart pattern is the same. All right, narrow miss there. Narrow miss on the 10-point target. Narrow miss on the 10-point target. Missed it by a tick. Let's just zoom out. I want to take a look at my higher time frame. Let's take a look at my higher time frame. You know, I've been drafting a trade plan every day for as long as I can remember. I don't mean to bore you with this stuff, but the reason why I'm stating it is to emphasize the efficacy of the work, right? So a lot of folks, you know, I get it. A lot of folks don't have time. A lot of us traders, a lot of us, you know, we don't have time. We're hanging out with our friends. We're doing our social stuff, and we don't have time to sit there and draft out a trade plan. I totally understand that. If I had to sit down today and draft out a trade plan every day, I'm not sure I'd do it, right? But I formed that habit years and years and years ago. So if you're not doing it, you can always find one. The importance of having a trade plan is I can't state it enough. It kind of sets your bearings. If you're sitting down and you're looking at the chart every morning without an idea of what you want to do, just understand what that means, right? So you're jumping in and you're trying to make a real-time assessment. There's so many data points to analyze, and it's moving fast. And you're not giving yourself a competitive edge. So it's like, it would be kind of like saying, you know, I'm a baseball coach. So it would be kind of like Shohei Ohtani going to a game and not having practiced, right? So at least gain some type of idea of what you want to do with the day. And now, you know, today you don't have to sit there and kind of craft and form your own plan. There are plenty of good plans out there that you can purchase, that you can subscribe to, that are economical. But have a plan. It really matters, and it'll make the difference in your trading. It'll give you a process point, right? So every day you'll look at your plan, you'll know how you want to execute it, get really good at executing that plan, and then you turn into the casino. All right, let's see where we're at. Let's see where we are at. Going for that, I'm going back to the blueprint. I'm going back to the blueprint. So now what I want to do is, right, where do I run into trouble? So on my work, I'm looking at 70. I'm looking at Jesus, yep, is that 70? Yeah, 76.24 is the resistance point. God, I had to do a double take on that. Like, is that right? Yeah, but I remember. Yep. We could go as high as 76.25. Yep. Okay, that's correct. So obviously, I'm not going to sit in this trade till then. There will be pullbacks, and I want to peel it off and take some profit. Frame out the good day. Nish, yes, for sure. Yep, I'll take a look at that email as soon as I get off today. I'll take a look at it for sure. All right, we're moving on up. One of the things, back to the trade plan, right? I totally understand it that a lot of traders spend time building a plan. They hear that's the right way to trade, and then they kind of go through this process of the plan not working out, right? And then you kind of scrap the whole idea and you go back to like trading off the cuff. And there has to be, throughout that time, you have to develop a trust, and trust is earned, right? So you have to kind of stick with it through those rough times, stick to the process in order to come out better on the other side. And everybody loves the plan when it's working, right? That's all you see on social media is when the plan was working. But you have to trust your process when it's not working. The real test comes when your plan doesn't work and you still stick to it. And you still stick to the next day, you come back out there, you kind of grind it out, you hash it out, you make another, you make the plan again, and you stick to that. So yeah, don't abandon the process, review the plan. And then it takes a lot off of you personally, because at that point you can start thinking, all right, so what did I not get right in my plan, as opposed to like, oh, I wasn't disciplined enough today. Well, it's hard to be it's hard to judge discipline on the day when you're executing off the cuff. So, and when you're executing off the cuff, it also opens you up a lot more to impulsive execution. And then what's followed with that is the judgment of that impulse. So you'll never know what impulse was good, what impulse was bad. And then it kind of goes back, oh, I should have been more disciplined. Meaning what? You should have only took the winning trades. That's not the way it works. Okay. So don't fall into that. If you're in that situation right now, stick around here. Give me a call, shoot me an email. I have some stuff that can help you get through that. It's a little bit too much to go through here, but I can certainly help you out. All right, pulling back here. We are pulling back. It looks like the market wants to top here. So I'm going to go ahead and take off. I'm going to go ahead and close this for 10 points. If we get below this little 7603, 75, let me start trailing this up. What time is it? 9:50. 9:50. Let's see what this looks like. I'm not sure that I want to close this out just yet. That felt kind of hasty to me. Let me make sure I get my bearings here. Let me make sure I have my bearings. Still have some time here. Let's see how this next candle prints. If we this is the 5-minute. If we take out this little low here at 7603.75, I don't want to see it get below 7601. But also it's Friday, right? I kind of just want to take what the market offers and park it and hang out and just chill and trade with you guys. But let's see what happens here. Still moving higher here. All right, moving higher. All right, good job, Manny. Not closing it out there on that tiny pullback. Let's see if we can get some extension and some follow through on the upside. Good morning, Mika. How are you? Everybody say hi to Mika. Mika just joined the team. Super excited to have Mika join us. I think she's gonna fit right in here with us. Glad you're here, Mika. All right, listening in, one ear on the SPYGATE, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't heard much this morning. All right, getting some extension higher. Let's see if we can get some follow through. Come on, Bulls, let's go. I mean, we're gonna hit 7,600. Hey, check it out. Hey, good morning, Phase 5. nice to see you back. Hey, so 76. There it is. Yep, we already got it. 7609, 7610. Dude, can you imagine that team? Like it feels like I don't know. Not long ago we were trading, in the 6,000s. Now we're at 7,600. That's wild. See what the high looks like. I want to stay out of this. I don't want to micromanage it. You know what I want to do though? I want to just jump into this higher time frame really quickly. I want to assess, right, where is the 1618 Fibonacci extension of this move? Let's see, we have the one. Let's put the 127 on there too. Let's just do it for shits and giggles, right? So the 1618, the 127 is 8,200. These are Fibonacci extensions. Okay, so here I'll give you some insight into what I'm looking at. All right, as we just monitor this trade and let it play out. So this is an extension from the move that started back in October of 2022. And when ES was in October of 2022, 4 years ago, ES was trading. It made a low of 35. I believe it was 35.08, wasn't it? Like I kind of remember. Why does that number sound familiar to me? Let's see. What's the exact low? Oh no, I was wrong. 36.32. when ES made a low of 36.32 on October 11th of 2022, all right? Since then, the ES has doubled. Wow. Okay, so what I'm drawing out here is an extension. So what I'm doing on this chart is I am taking a measured move I'm taking this move, right? And then I'm extrapolating. The market loves to follow the mathematics. Okay, so it pulled back, and now what I'm just following this move. How does this move measure out? I'm looking for another move like the one that started on October of 2022. So I'm looking for an extension of that move. And what do I want to do is I want to extend it higher here. So this first move is now been measured 100% at 74.93. So these two moves, these two yellow long extensions are equal distance. And now I'm looking to see how much higher can the market extend above the one-to-one extension. And to do that, we'll use our Fibonacci tool, and our Fibonacci extension comes in up there at our 127 Fibonacci extension comes in at 82.12. Massive move. And I can go ahead now and clear some of this out, but yeah, just a massive move. Awesome. It's been awesome. Enjoy these markets when they're this bullish. Enjoy it, buy the dips, close your eyes, and just trust what the charts are telling you, because as I said earlier, this is an easy market. Let me reiterate. No market is easy, and trading is never easy. Let me not be disrespectful that way. Okay, it's not. It's never easy at all. What I want to say is there's one component of today's market that is simple to assess, and that is that it's moving higher. We can get caught in the quagmire of thinking, when is it's gone too high, when is it going to end? That's fine, but it's telling us every day that it wants to go higher. Let's trust it. Let's trust the chart. Let's trust our eyes. Let's trade what we see. Let me know how you folks are doing today. If anybody trading, let me know how you got what trades you have on. And if you've tried to short it, let's go. Let's talk about it, right? Yesterday I got stopped out of a short that I took, which was against the trend. I thought I saw something in the order flow, and I thought, I was trying to take a short into a low time pivot, and I got stopped out. I knew it was against the trend. I knew I shouldn't have been doing it. All the things that I kind of felt susceptible to. My brain was, my brain was kind of like, hey, you missed the long, take a short. And I got stopped out for, 3 or 4 points. I don't recall which one, but I know I felt, oh man, that was one of those trades I didn't need to take. So it's totally understandable. By no means am I a robot at all. I take my stops, and you guys just see that really clearly when I'm trading now. And also, as we trade along, and next week you'll see me go at the evaluation and try to get to pass it and try to get it to a payout. Should be fun. All right, team. It's 10 o'clock. Internals are mixed. That's interesting. I didn't get a quick read on the internals, but yeah, the internals are mixed. That kind of changes things for me. Oh, wait. Okay. All right. Looks like we have 76.11. 76.11 thus far has been our high. 76.11.50. We kind of stalled out there. We went one for one. We went one by one. 76.11. And what I mean by one by one is that the buyers were really trying to press it higher and they failed. And they were hitting the offer on 76.11.50. Somebody got a sell in there on the bid, which tells me that there's an iceberg order. The only thing that matters right now is that 76.11.50 team. Just know that there's an iceberg sitting there. Somebody's sitting on the offer there, meaning that every time buyers come in, they're sitting there and they're just replenishing. They're replenishing. So a buyer's coming in saying, give me 100, and they're giving them the 100. And it's like, I want 100 more. And they're like, 100 more. They're just sitting on the offer. And there's different ways to interpret that. It's supply that we need to get through. That's the easiest way to interpret that. It's not necessarily bearish. It doesn't mean that that's the high. What that means is that there's a large seller there sitting, and he what is going on here? Oh, okay. Hey, check it out. All right, so a little bit of a snafu here. Let's just get that out. All right, T, let me see. I have to go ahead and shut this down. Just give me a second here. Let's get the Thinkorswim chart up. Yeah, so that's what that means. That's a real-time order flow read. Basically what that means is that, that seller is there. He's dominant. I went ahead and close this out. Okay. Hang tight. Manny, does the Pitbull work? Let's see. Manny, does the Pitbull work with Intraday? i.e., can I get an account on my existing system? Thank you. Hey, Adrian. Yeah, great question. So Pitbull traders currently, we're adding Intraday. The technical answer is not right now. But we are adding Trade of 8. They're working on the tech stack to get that added. Okay, so yeah, so it's coming very soon. Hang tight. Yep. So remember, we as we continue to build out the program and evolve and build up our tools, you'll see Trade of 8 is listed on our site. And that's because we're in active development of adding that to our tech stack. Is that what you use, Adrian? Some of my trades this morning, NQ long off the continuation, 6C short off the eco data, CL off of Iran narrative, ES long on breakout, and puts on UNH off bad investigative report. Wow, at live action, you're super active this morning. That's good. Good for you, bud. Sounds like you have yeah, that's great. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. Adrian says when you add Trade of 8, I will add a Pitbull account. All right. Good to know. I'll keep you posted, Adrian, for sure. Hey, Nish, I didn't receive your email. Can you make sure you're sending it to Manny at Pitbull Traders? I just scanned my email and I did not see it. I want to make sure that I answer all those questions. So it's Manny, MANNY at pitbulltraders with an S.com. All right. NQ long RTY. So heads up, yeah. Adrian, good eye. That's so I just realized with internals being mixed, right? Internals are mixed. That's wild. So the Russell is down over 0.5%. That's interesting. I'm going to get ahead and tighten up on this then. You know, I don't trust it anymore as much as I did a little while ago. So look, I was trying to extend this target. Just make sure I have this up, right? But I'm going to go ahead and close this out. That's what happened. This one, hang on. Yeah. All right. No worries. No harm, no foul. I didn't get the target at 1475. A contract was added to it. The initial long was with 94. I got a 5-point first. I was looking for 76.14 for 20-point trade. And I did not get the fill. A contract was added at 76.20. Sorry, a contract was added. Let me just see exactly where it was added. You know what? Hang tight. You know what? I want to see something. Let's take a look at the weighted. We need to look at the weighted AD. To do that, we expand this chart. Yeah. Look at the AD. The AD is negative and the weighted is positive. So the weighted always wins. All right. I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with the trade. I'm sticking with it. Except I'm going to take some prop. Let me ask you guys a question. If there's one, if there was one, if there was one quality, trading quality that you can have tomorrow, which one would it be? Whoa, what happened here? So wait, the CCI. Hang on. Jesus, the CCI got me long way up there at 7609. Yikes. That's all right. Some of my trades this morning. Yep. Okay, thanks, Nish. I'll check. This thing got me put me long at 7609. That's wild. I've got to peel that off. All right, so I had a snafu up here. Somehow I got long at 7609. I'm going to take it off for a 4-point loss. That sucks. I've got to take it off. I cannot continue to hold it. That's when I had to relaunch the platform, but we're back in business here. Don't worry about it. Still early in the day. We've only been open 45 minutes. Lots of price action. Think about this, how this chart is going to develop. There's going to be so many swings in the day. Okay. Let's see if I can wiggle my way out of this bad position. All right. Nope. All right, here we go. I'm going to try to wiggle my way out of this, guys. Hang tight. Let's see. No, the internals are too rough. I need an order flow read here. I'm going to try to wiggle my way out of this. No, it's going way too deep. I'm going to give up all the profit from the last trade. Put me back at ground zero on this account. If I don't wiggle my way out of this. Oh man, 465, 500 contracts at 7601 on the bid. Oh, they're still blasting them. All right, I'm toast. Oh, I'm cooked. Oh, come on, baby. I'm gonna get cooked on this one. If I don't get a bounce here soon, I'm gonna get cooked. Come on. Nope. Man, I should have took it off 4 points ago. Nope, they're still selling them. Hang tight. Let's see what this. Oh, they're still hitting them. They're still hitting them. All right, wait. Let's see if they come in on these 7600s on the opposite side. Come on. Lift, lift, lift. They're hitting 7,600, 7,650. Nope. Oh, they came right back in on them. All right, it's stabilizing. Stabilizing here. We are stabilizing. All right, I just added one. See if I can get me out of this. Come on, get me out of this. No. All right, I'm toast. Blah. Yep. All right, I'm out. Dang it. Man, I had like $900 in that account, and it dwindled down to $100. That sucks. All right. No, well, whatever. I'm gonna switch it to micros. I got to take a stop loss protocol, team, on that one. That was brutal. Oh, wait a minute. I've got an 810 going here. We'll get it back. We got an 810 set up here. Nope, it never triggered. I've got to figure out stop loss protocol when I'm on the stream with you guys. I'm going to yeah. Damn, that was brutal. That sucked. I don't know how it thought. I think so. What happened was the CCI got me long at 7609. Like, what the F bomb? Unbelievable. Yeah, and look at the Russell. The Russell was the tell, bro. The Russell is falling out of bed right now. That's wild. That is pretty. And remember up there that iceberg I was telling you all about? Huh? Was that? I don't know. I don't think that's going to be the high of the day, but it's sure. Russell's the. I mean, the Russell's is just falling out of bed right here. What is going on? This is a tough read. 7602. I want to park it until I understand better until I have a better read of what this is all this is. For sure. I have to take a quick stop loss protocol break. So hang tight. It's mandatory. It's part of my process. So I'll be right back. Let me just leave you guys with this. Don't tune away. Leave the charts up. But I got to stick to the process, team. I've got to clear my head. It should be about 4 minutes, and I'll be back.
All right. If you're a trader, you know this feeling. You're staring at the chart. You see the move. You jump in. And somehow, you're always a step behind. It turns into this constant chase. Now, what if you flip that? What if instead of chasing the market, you started getting ahead of it? Not by guessing where it's going, but by understanding when. Because if you really think about it, this is the question that changes everything.
How did that happen?
Most traders get obsessed with price, finding the perfect level, the perfect support, the perfect resistance. But what if the real edge isn't where at all? What if it's when?
Yeah, and the Russell's
and this slide right here lays that out. Two completely different ways to trade. On the left,
be right back.
That's reactive trading. That's chasing price. That's relying on indicators that lag. That's making emotional decisions in real time. We've all been there. On the right, that's the different game. The anticipatory trading, that's calm, that's structured, that's proactive. Because now you're following a roadmap based on time. It's the difference between being a passenger and actually being in control. And this is why it matters. A good trade isn't just price, it's three things: price, level, and time. But most traders are trying to win with just the first two. And that's why everything feels inconsistent. Time is the missing piece. But here's the reality: the market is not random. It moves with rhythm. There's a flow to it, a schedule, patterns that repeat. And once you start to see that, you stop reacting to what just happened and you start anticipating what's likely next. So the question becomes, how do you actually see that? That's where the execution clock comes in. It does one thing really well. It makes time visible. It takes something most traders feel but can't define, and it turns it into a structured roadmap you can use every day. And when you look at it, this isn't just another chart. This isn't more indicators. This is a visual guide to how the day can unfold. You'll see it clearly, defined time windows. These are the zones where highs and lows tend to form. It's clean, it's simple, and most importantly, it's actionable. Now let's be clear, this is not a crystal ball. It's not predicting one exact outcome. The market doesn't move one way. It moves in different patterns, different rhythms. That's why the execution clock gives you four main scenarios. We'll call them series days. Think about it like a playbook. You're not guessing, you're prepared. So let's walk through them. First, series 1 day. This maps out one possible structure for the day with its own timing for highs and lows. Then you have series 2 day, different rhythm, different flow, different turning points. Next, series 3 day. Again, another variation on how the day can develop based on its own time structure. And then series 4 day. When you put it all together, you have a complete framework. You're not reacting anymore. You're prepared for how the day can unfold. And this part right here is important. On the left, you'll see the raw timing logic, the foundation. On the right, you see how that gets turned into something usable, something clean, structured, and actionable. This isn't theory. This is built for real trading. So let's bring this into the real market. How does this actually help you when you're live? Let's go through a couple of key examples. First one, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. If you trade ES or NQ, you already know. The major inflection point in the morning. Now let's look at series 2 day roadmap. It highlights the window from 10 to 10:45 and right in the center time, 10:30. That's not random. That's a high probability zone for a low to form. So instead of guessing, you're prepared. You're watching for it. You're ready to react when the market gets there. Now let's move forward. 1:30 p.m., another key rotation time. Again, go to series 3 day map. Same thing. You got a defined window centered around that time. Another potential turning point. This is the edge. It's not vague. It's specific. It gives you timing, not guesses. And when you look across all four series, you'll start to notice something. These key times repeat. 10 a.m. potential lows on certain days. 11 a.m. potential highs on certain days. 2:30 midday rotation. 3:30 late day move. The clock puts all of it in front of you. So instead of reacting, you're anticipating. And that's the shift. You stop chasing. You stop guessing. You start trading with structure. You start trading with a plan. You start trading with timing on your side. And that gives you a completely different level of confidence. You're not getting faked out by every move. You're not late to everything. You're aligned. And for ES and NQ traders, this is the edge most people don't have. Not just knowing where, but knowing when. So I'll leave you with this. Think about tomorrow morning. You're logged in. Instead of staring at a blank chart, you'll already have a roadmap. You already know the key times, the key windows, the key opportunities. How different does that feel? Because that one shift, it changes everything. If you'd like to know more about the execution clock, go to pitbulltraders.com and click on the Trader Edge tab.
not going to argue with you.
Let it roll off the shoulders.
If they keep playing sports like that, it's going to be on them later on. Let them have it. Let them have it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Hey, team, I'm back. Hello. Hey, thanks for bearing with me on that break. Thanks for bearing with me on that break. Appreciate it. Hey, be careful on, remember, we have a flip on the internals. Flip on the internals. Internals are now negative. Nice break. Just had a nice break. My kids graduated yesterday, and today was their final day of school, and they just walked through the door. So always nice to see them. And man, that trade really stung me. So I just want to share with you guys. So it looked like what happened was I had a rogue execution. I had a nice trade going on. It was the target, and then I had this other program here that I was running, this other algorithm I was running in the pre-market, and I left it on. That's on me. And so it added to that account. So yeah, that's what happened. But I'm back in the saddle, still feeling good. Well, not feeling good, but I am. I'm not as bad as I was a while ago. I was pretty pissed about that. I don't know if the mistake was leaving. Yeah, thanks, Renee. Yep, thanks. I'm not sure if I'm more pissed about leaving the program on or adding to it, but I don't know. The ad kind of was trying to wiggle my way out. Whatever. I'm gonna let it go. I'm definitely not gonna carry it with me into the next trade. That's for sure. I'm not going to carry that around with me. Thanks for hanging out with us too. If you endured that break, appreciate the support. Let me know how you guys are trading it today. What do you got going on? Let's get back to the plan. Let's get back to the trade plan and see what we have here. Let's see what's a valid trade for me and not. Let me just review this. Okay, everything is off here, so nothing can be executed on a dime. Nothing can be executed here. All right. This is so kid gloves with this for me right now, right? It's a muddy read. I think we can probably trade up to 7603 maybe before anything happens. Let's just watch it. Also, furthermore, what if this turns out to be a choppy two-way day? I know the bottom's dropping out of the Russell, but the Nasdaq is still positive, and so is the S&P. So yeah, I mean, when we get this kind of read, it's typically indicative of we're going to see chop. Let's take a look at the weighted AD. Oh, we went negative on the weighted. Something's selling here. Something is selling. Something's selling hard. Let's just take another look. What's the VIX doing? Why is the VIX at 50? The VIX is flat. What is Vega telling me? Wrong chart. AD's negative. The weighted just went negative. And then ES is now back into, is this a gigantic look above and fail where we went above the overnight high by like 15 points and now we're back below it? It's possible. I mean, anything's possible, right? I think this next move, let's see if the bulls hold it above yesterday's high. I mean, that's the important part. All right, let's see. Hey team, we're going to look right now. We just came back and tested the overnight high and it held, right? So now let's monitor this. Let's see if it reclaims these moving averages, and the Nasdaq is pretty strong here. So yeah, I think we have to hold tight. We have to remember the higher time frame analysis that we did. We just went down and tagged yesterday's high and bounced. Yeah, the Russell's selling, but now the Russell is firming up a bit. That was a good eye pointing that out. Thank you for that. I believe it was Adrian. Thanks for that, Adrian. And that's super important, right? To have a strong team. We constantly talk about that here. Let's go back to the trade plan and see what we have. What's on deck? All right, continuation long 75.94. I traded that one once already, so I don't know if I want to go back to that again. I think what if this dip, this early morning dip, was a big trap? I mean, that's possible. It gets kind of muddy up here. In order for me to buy a support, my nearest support is 75, like 83. So I got to wait for that. I'm going to wait for that. And just give this some time to pan out. Let's give this some time to like sort itself out. And I still think we're going higher. Am I foolish to think that? I'm pretty sure if you go on X right now, you're going to see a bunch of the top sin calls. We're like 10 points off the all-time high. It is moving. It is moving quite. It's stabilizing here, but you know, when the ES is going to sell, remember it moves pretty quickly, so we're going to be on alert for that. You see them trying to push lower here. If they break down, if they get down below yesterday's high, then we go back into range, and then we start thinking about shorts. All right, plain and simple. Yeah, look, they're pushing it lower. I'm hands off right now, not doing much. Let me know how you guys are trading it. What do you guys think? Is the all-time high in? I'm glad I'm not touching this because I definitely don't have a clear read on this right now. Better to stand aside. That's my. I'm going to turn this one back on though. That's what works for me. Where did I leave it? falling out. Oh man, the Nasdaq just fell. The Nasdaq just fell out of bed. Heads up. Maybe the high is in. Nah, I don't think so. I think it's a trap. Remember that it's what time is it? 10:45. All right. 10:45. Let's see how this day ends. This market loves to confuse. Loves to catch people off sides. The internals flip to negative. The weighted AD flip to negative. That is not a good sign. Did the Russell lead the way lower? Did the Russell cause us to break here? Oh man, we did hit the resistance point. Thanks, Renee. All right, let's go. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we can get in on this. What are you guys thinking out there? Are we let's see what happened on the clock, 11:45. Yeah, the Adrian, that's what we have here. Let's so Adrian, if you're like the Bears have the clock, right? They're driving it lower. Live Action says reversed ES when I saw large depth and offer for short scalps. I then went long for a mini long of VPOC and CL hitting a wall on their bids, flat everything else except puts on UNH. Okay, cool. Yep. That sounds good. I'm flat as a door. I'm flat as a board here. I'm not interested in participating in anything until I get a better read. Period. How should I say it? I'm not convinced. I still think that bulls are lurking, but let's see. We know the structural reference we need to get below. We're just now low in. We're now into what? We just got below the settlement. All right. This could be a trap in here. Let's see if we can break below. Let's see what happens at value area high 75, 85 to 90. Okay, 85 to 90. See if that holds as resistance, or let's see if the bulls reclaim yesterday's high 75.88. But it's a murky read for sure. Oh, narrow miss there. Narrow miss. Yeah, it's a tough read here. You know, it's a tough read. We're above the settlement. We're topping between the settlement and yesterday's high, 75.88 and 75.31. It's definitely not a clear read. That's for sure. Live Action says didn't have confidence in ES when the rant said we gain concessions not through talks but through missiles. Oh yeah, that'll rattle anyone's confidence. Whoa. Okay, looks like there's some news out. Oh man, I'm short, and this thing froze on me. Oh boy. All right, let's just get it. Let's get the up chart. Okay. Jeez. That's not good. Oh man. Coming back up now. Let's see what happens here. Still coming booting back up here. What? It must be some news out or something. Tyson says Trump, Iran must agree they'll never have a nuclear weapon or bomb. All right, I'm hanging tight right here. I'm not interested in much. So let's see what the lows look like. Yeah, that low looks good. Watch this candle print right here. This is the wild one. On a Friday, on a week that we've been fairly bullish, you can try to guess all you want, but we're still above. Yes, we're back above yesterday's high, and that's what the chart says. Tyson says Trump, the naval blockade will now be lifted. 10:53. Oh, that's news. Yeah, hey team, just be careful here, right? It seems like the U.S. comes out and says something, Iran refutes it. You don't know what's coming next. It seems like the U.S. is long and Iran is short. Gun to my head, I just 75, 77. We missed that long by 2 points. Look, it came down here while we were off. God dang it. Market blueprint setup number. Hey Anna. Yeah, yesterday I was with the family. So market blueprint support buy number 1 triggered. Support buy number 1. Go check it out. Market blueprint support buy number 1 triggered. Yep, no worries, Anna. I wasn't here yesterday. Yesterday was my first day off in, I think, since February. Yeah, so yesterday was my I have twins and they graduated from the 5th grade. My wife had flight to New York City and I was on daddy duty. Oh, yeah. Tighten it up, live action. Tighten it up. These candles right here, team, these candles right here, while the news is just exploding, just give this some time to settle out, right? So the way the way I'm thinking about it and the way I'm approaching it is, look at these candle prints. Don't get FOMO like you're missing out. Think about how the day is going to unfold, right? The day will unfold in some type of fashion, right? And we will be able to catch trades in here, but we don't want to, like right now, while things are moving, while this all this emotional stuff is going on, let it play out. So if you guys caught the market blueprint long down here, kudos to you. I missed it because literally we were down there for a minute, a literal minute. I was not ready. I was not fast enough. I had the alert set, and the price action was so fast. Look, it never even triggered. It never triggered the alert. So not too much I can do about that. Yeah, thanks, Anna. It was super special. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice taking them all out to. After I'm done here trading today, we are all going out for some fun. Should be nice. Go enjoy some. Go and enjoy the outdoors with the kids. Been blessed with some super kids. All right, here we go. Back down again. Yeah, just be careful in here, right? Let this sort out. So look, it's 11 a.m. Okay, let's give this at least another, let's give it another 2 15-minute prints. Anna says, no, once again, Manny, note how Trump timed that tweet. Everything was heading lower. Yeah, exactly. This is Trump jumps long, he ran short. That's the way you got to look at it. Until we see something different, that's the way you got to look at it. Right now we're just oscillating between, this. What is this? 75.93. What's going on here? Got to keep resetting this. We're above yesterday's high, and we're oscillating between, at the overnight high, right? 95. This is Chop City. Be careful. Let's let this figure it out, right? It's going to break higher, it's going to break lower, but there's going to be so much choppy action in here. It's going to be hard to discern which way it's going. Initiating in here is very, 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 very risky. Very risky. But what I'm looking for, what I can participate in is a higher low right here. If we can form, if price can give me a higher low. I'm looking for maybe something like this, where I'm getting in here, participating in that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Let's see if we can get it. That would line up with the clock. What is that? 75.85. So 70. I'm looking for 75.85, 75.86 for a long trade. Yeah, 75.85, 75.86. still choppy in here though. Look, like we've been oscillating between 98 and 90. It's an 8-point chop zone. It hasn't gone anywhere. Don't get caught in this. Stand aside. Thanks, Tyson. No money will be exchanged until further notice. Trump uranium will be unearthed by the U.S. I don't know. It seems like Trump is saying the same things every day, and yeah, agreed. Live action. It seems like Trump is saying the same things every day, and I don't know. I don't know. Is it me or are they just not carrying any weight? Hard to say, really. All right, 11:05 coming around the bend here. I'm going to go grab a quick cup of coffee. See if we can get down to that level though. What is this? 89. This is 82. That'll be AR7. Right back up. Look how choppy this is, man. This is wild. It's not going anywhere. You got to be careful in here. Trust. Just sit on your hands. Go get something to drink. Now's a great time to go get a cup of coffee. Look, now it's 94. It was just trading 90 a little while ago. If you're trading with a 5-point stop and you initiate it anytime in here, you're toast. You just got to know the risk. Look at the price action and then think about it from the perspective of your risk, right? So like if I'm a 5-point risk trader, if I'm a 10-point risk trader, I'm getting annihilated in here. I've got to get in somewhere along the edges so that my risk marker gives me a shot to live, right? If I'm initiating anywhere in here, I'm not, I can assume the loss, the cost of doing business, and still be right on the idea. Trump, U.S. to lift Iran naval blockade after nuclear and Hormuz commitments. Truth Social, Iran must agree to never have a nuclear weapon. Open immediately. We know. Yeah, that's wild. It's just Trump being Trump again, I guess. Yeah, just, if again, I think the trade is long. But we need a dip. We need a dip to buy. All right, hang tight, team. Give me 30 seconds. Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to run and grab a quick cup of coffee. I'm looking at price action. It only took an hour. I called it at 10:01. It was 10:45. I'm like, nah. It didn't take long for us to get back to 7,600. I'm telling you, you cannot count the bulls out. Oh my God. Yeah, I just saw that tweet too. Yeah, I'm sure he's probably short down there somewhere. Yeah, yep. Cannot count the bulls out, man. We're in a raging bull market. Buy dips, man. Buy dips. It was at 10:45. I said, we'll see what happens. And on top of that, hey, team, check it out. The market blueprint strikes again. Did the market blueprint get the low of the day again today? 70. The support buy was 75.79. Our low of the day is 75.77. If I get the low of the day again today, that's 3 days in a row. Smoking. That's an incredible. I was getting surprised and really excited about it, and now I'm just expecting it. Like I know a few times a week I'm going to nail the high or the low. The formula is intact. I'm not changing it. Yeah, and it says Trump is going into the Situation Room right now. Thanks, Anna. Good. That means he's probably got a. I hope he had a computer in there so he can buy any dip when the Rand comes out and says something. Because I'm waiting for a dip. We should get one soon. Did our midday low come in? Did our S1H low come in already? I don't know. I don't think so. I think we're gonna see a higher low in here sometime. That's what I'm angling for. I'm looking for this low. But so far, the market blueprint got the low of the day. It got the low of the day yesterday, and it got the low of the day on Thursday. We're just incredible amount of consistency going on right now. Hey, if you are not following, go to @Manny_trends and get the market blueprint. Do yourself a favor. That trade plan in combination with the clock is amazing. And admittedly, I did not participate in the trade. You guys saw I was hanging tight. But I hope some of you caught it. I hope some of you are taking advantage of that trade plan. Moving on forward. So a little quick programming note. Next week, I'm going to start stretching out this stream because often when I go out, I have to wrap it up here soon. But next week when I go, I'm going to continue. So typically I continue in a private. Oh, what happened here? No. What the hell was that? Typically, I continue in a private session with my private community, but I'm going to start streaming it live. And I'm going to keep working with the same group. I'm coaching. I have 2 traders right now that I'm coaching, so it's easier if I can just pull us all into the same unit, and then I go off on one-on-ones when I need to. But next week, I'm still working out the particulars on that. So if any of you want to continue the day and trade with me live for the rest of the day, well, I'll be, it's pretty much like sitting with me in my office as I trade and I execute, right? So if any of you are interested in that, shoot me an email. Let me know. I'm setting it up this weekend. I don't know if it's going to be fully ready next week, and I still have some contractual obligations with the guys that I'm coaching now I have to fulfill that obligation before I kind of pivot over to something else. But if you have any interest in that, shoot me an email. And it'll just be, it's probably going to be a handful of us, not very many. And we'll do the daily morning stream, so everybody, so folks can participate. And then, but on the side, I'll be showing a little bit more. I'll be going a little bit more in depth, and I'll also, not everything I execute is being executed live on the stream, admittedly, right? But I'll be in that scenario. I'll be executing live, and I'm pretty sure that, I'm pretty sure that it will. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be worth it for you. I mean, that'll run a little bit later. That'll probably run. I'm just going to keep it open. All right, here we go. Let's go. Let's get a dip. Let's get a dip to buy. You can get a dip to buy. Will be golden. All right, looks like the algo got me long here at 7,600. It's a little early for this one, but it's a scalp trade. It's got scalp parameters in it. See if I can get this blown out a little bit more. All right, coming around the bend, it's 11:20. Team, we're going to wrap it. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day. I have some obligations that I just got pinged. I have to get over, and I have to fulfill some other obligations. And I'm going to be late if I don't hop off now. Let me just see the outcome of this trade. Just a quick programming note for next week, right? Next week, I'm going to be on a little bit longer. Let me manage this trade. I don't necessarily want to be long up here, but it is an auto trade. All right. I'm closing this one out. Yep. Yep, -4 on that. All right, got taken out of that one. All right, team, that's it for me today. I'm going to wrap it up. If you like what you see, if you like what you heard, please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll be back at it next week. I'll have all the programming details for you then. Thank you all for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend and have a good one. Thanks, guys. Not what we wanted today.